All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Edtech Learning Office Hours Live. So tonight we are going to answer your questions as always. If you want to ask me a question tonight, you can go to the Hangout chat area and plug in a question, or if you just want to sit back and watch, go ahead. There are a couple of things just from earlier this week sent to me. So I'm going to go over those, and with that, we'll start. Just a reminder, I am at Nick Finelli. Let me share my screen right here. So I'm at Nick Finelli, and that's on Twitter and Facebook. If you go to Blend Tech Learn, and then YouTube, it's Blended Tech Learning. So if you go to the blendedtechlearning.com website, you'll be able to get instant clicks to all of these, the Facebook Lives, the YouTube Lives, Twitter account, as well as all the other things I do with educators. Don't forget also about the courses. So right now we're up to about 20 different courses for Blended Tech Learning, and we plan on adding several more each month. So by the time summer comes around, you'll have a good up to about 80 different courses to choose from. All right, so our first question was just people who have Chromebooks in general were wondering, and so I was thinking on a, any device, it really could be helpful. A lot of times you just want to record an audio, and if kids are in this one-to-one atmosphere and they're not necessarily using their phone or something like that, how do they record audio? Or maybe they want to record it and insert it. So there's some cool things you can do. And so I'm going to go to the Chrome Web Store, and I'm just going to go and type voice recording. So there's a number of extensions here. And the one I like is called this Simple Audio Recorder. So I'm going to go ahead and add it to Chrome. So of course, it's going to ask for my permission, and then it's going to add it up on the right as an extension. I believe there's also a pop-up welcome that comes up here. So it's just saying, welcome, this is simple but powerful. It saves these as WAV files, which are fine. You can use them anywhere. If I click turn on, there we go. It should be on, and it should be up here with a little speaker at the top right. Now, when I click on it, there's my recording. You can see it's starting to count, and it's doing its simple audio from whatever is coming. So if you're on a Chromebook device, it's going to pick up the natural audio there. And then you just click it to stop. And that's it. So I'm working on a Windows device tonight. So what it does automatically is it wants to save it with the timestamp, and there's the WAV file. If you're using a Chromebook and you have your saved automatically going to Google Drive, well, this is how it's going to save it. It's going to save it as a recording. It's going to timestamp it, and that way you know it when it was made and produced. So I'm just going to click and add that. So I'll just do recording test. Just save this to the desktop. I'll save. So that's just simple and how you do it. And so the recording itself, you can see down here, I'm also going to bring it to my drive. So let me go up here and bring it to drive. And so when of course you're bringing stuff, this would be a good thing to put for student reflections. So if you think about, you just need to reflect about what we just talked about. They can make a quick recording. They don't have to worry about writing something down. It can be their audio, it can be their feelings about it. Any type of way to get student voice in there would be a benefit. And just the simplicity of being able to click a button and have it save automatically. Now they could go to something like Soundtrap or something like that to edit it. Maybe a kid is reading their story. So now they're looking at their Google Doc and they could read their story, and then they have a recording that goes with it. So now you have both matched together. So let me just upload this into my drive. Come on. Give me the blue box. There we go. I think it did it. All right, so that's one way you can record. Other uses for just simple recordings like that, besides like reading classroom stuff, is you could use that recording in Google Slides. So there's actually an add-on that allows you to do recordings throughout slides, similar to how you would with PowerPoint. We can show that another time, but that's just a cool way to do it. Oh, I did end up doing it twice. All right. Go to my next thing. So this is also another extension, and I already have it here, but I'm just going to type it in. So I really, oops. There we go. So we got mindfulness, and so Google created this mindfulness break. It's an add-on that when I click on it here, it just drops down. So it's just the kind of the little Google logo here with the little lines through it here. It's got an M on it, and then it has some just things to help you to say, okay, it's time for a break. Try a breathing exercise. So there's another one. 1 minute breathing. It'll do a timer, and you can actually set it up to remind you or do a sound or something. Just depends on how you do those type of things. But that's also nice, is to be able to have that break during the day. I know a lot of people out there are using that. It's very helpful for helping students focus and helping you kind of ground yourself before you start something, or just to be thinking about your day. So let's try that. We're going to click on the mindfulness break right up here. And then it says right here, think of a goal you hope to accomplish in a month's time. Think mindfully, create a plan that enables you to try to work. And you can make it larger screen here. So now it takes up the whole area. And then if I want to try the breathing exercise, okay, as you can see, it's bringing that in. And so without saying anything, it's kind of doing with motion also, the breathing in and out. So a nice little tool for your classroom, especially if you're employing mindfulness. It's something students can do on their own if they need that moment. Kind of helps set that tone for them. And so besides in the large version, you can take it out of that. Now look here, notice the new one. So there's different mindfulness break actions or different wording each time you click on it. Here's the gear. That's going to show you the different settings that they showed you in the app itself. So you can have a reminder, and every 2 hours, maybe at a certain time, you do a mindfulness break so that everybody's device takes that break at that time. Especially with all the technology in classrooms this day, you know, we do have a lot of screen time, and we want to make sure we're using it naturally. But then also a good break is to have the computer remind you that you need to take a break from this, and you don't need to be staring at a screen all day. So they have lots of ways to remind you, browser notifications, icons, and then you can also have the reminders only during certain times. So this is all set by the user, so you can't necessarily force this to your students, but still it's a nice feature. So that's the mindfulness break. Let me close this one up. My minute of breathing is over. All right, so the next thing that I wanted to show you was something, if you're into the 3D models, there's a website, Google.com. And what it does is it's basically housing all these 3D models that people are making throughout the world, so they can post them and create them. So the way that they're making them is using like Blockly, which is another one of Google types of programs here. But you can see these are just posts by different people. This was 2 days ago. Here's one. But these are all 3D models that people have created. And besides the 3D models themselves, you can, of course, search for them. But if I go up here to the menu, I have my stuff. So if I've uploaded anything, it would put in there. But the things that it brings up are, so one of the new tools or new 3D mixed reality, artificial intelligence, all the virtual reality stuff is tilt brush. And so those are kind of like drawings. So you can tell which things are done in tilt brush versus things that have been created kind of as a model, the ones with more of the backgrounds and things like that. So you can explore things that have been done with tilt brush. So these are all sketches. So again, nice way of displaying and showing art. Besides those, then you have the blocks. So if somebody's used Blockly or something like that, there's different items. And of course, you click on it. Let's do the high T. It's going to show it to you a little closer, and it's going to allow you to download it. So if you need it as an OBJ file, it'll download it and have it available. Also says the author, how many people viewed it, any other things. If they have some sort of licensing, they're going to put that on there. So this one is remixable. It's public. So we're there for that. You can also create a GIF of it, but I can totally control this, even though it's still in their part. I haven't downloaded it yet. Allows me to zoom in and out. So if I need to look a little closer at the details, there we go. So pretty cool. You can also search for animals, all sorts of ways that people have tagged or labeled their items. So if you're looking for certain places or scenes, you're going to see things like this. So anyway, and these models can be brought into lots of different things. They are set up for more of the virtual reality stuff, but they could easily be brought into other things. Which brings me to, if you've ever used something like zSpace, which is a kind of a virtual reality machine, STEM-based type stuff. Here's a cool thing you do. So I made a video just because on the zSpace machines, it's a little bit different, so I had to combine some things, but I made a video using Poly to get into and import something you've made or something you found on Poly and importing it into zSpace Studio. So let me pull that up and I'll kind of walk you through as I do this. Let's see if I can full screen it. All right, perfect. All right, so I'll just walk you through. It's a silent video, but I'll just walk you through. So play. Now it doesn't want to play. Oh, error. Let's try again. Let me refresh this and see if it works again. So sometimes things aren't going to pull up the way you want them, of course. And nice thing about Google and stuff stored in Drive and Chrome is you can refresh and pull them back up again. So I could have also downloaded that video and use it that way instead of just showing it or displaying it straight through Google. All right, let's see if we can. I might just have to play it in the preview this time. All right, so instead of opening it, I'll play it in this little light box here that shows the display in the background, and click play there. If we get a little thing that says that you can't watch it, then it's okay. I understand because we're we're actually videoing and doing live streaming along with this playing, so it may have some hiccups. We'll see. All right, so here it goes. So you're in Poly, and then just showing you some of the different models you can go to. But you can go up to the top and search. And so here I'm searching just for the word birds. And so it's coming up with all different ones for birds. There's a filter at the top right. So you can filter it by sketches, filter it by blocks, filter it by categories, all sorts of things. Once you find the one you want, you click on it, and it opens up just like you saw me with the high T. And then once it opens up, this one is actually done by Google. So it's a bird cactus, cactus wren. There's the little download button. And so when you click on download, it's going to be an OBJ file. And again, always check the copyright to see if you can use it and how you can use it. And so you can download the OBJ file. So it's going to double check, ask you where you want to load it. And then once it's downloaded, it's going to be in a zip file. And then once it goes to that zip file, you open up the zip file, and you need to make sure that it's unzipped. And then the files that are in there, which is going to be 3, it's going to be an OBJ file, it's going to be a color file that goes with it, and then an MHL file. And so all 3 of those need to go in the same folder. You could create a separate folder, or you could just put it in one place where they're all together, so that basically they have the same file path name. And so let me see if I can pause when we get there. All right, well, that didn't show what I need. That showed that part. Let's see. So once you do get, zoom in a little bit. So once you do get the file, so there's the zip file, there's the 3 files I was talking about. So there's the MHL file, the actual OBJ, and then there's the color file. Make sure all of those are in the same folder. So you can drag them to your desktop, drag them to a documents folder, and then, let's see here. Check with my technical difficulties, make sure. Hold it up in the right spot. So then you open up zSpace, and let's see if I can. Not showing both. Let me just double check to see if that was the only first part again. I think it was. So then once it goes into zSpace, yeah. All right. See if I have it separated here. There we go. All right, so then I had the wrong video. So when it goes into zSpace, I'll just fast forward to that because really I combine that screenshot and the first part together. All right, so here we go. So there's the file again. So now zSpace is opened up in the background. You can go to Sandbox when you're in zSpace, or if you're already in an existing activity. But then you go to the top right corner where the backpack is. And while you're looking at the backpack up here at the top right corner, there's the import. And so you're just going to find where your file is and only choose the OBJ. And then there it is. So now it's in zSpace Studio. it's got its colors on it and things like that. If you were to not bring over the colors and just bring over the OBJ file, it would be grayscale. Of course, in zSpace, you can zoom it in and out. And of course, if you're wearing the zSpace glasses, that bird is right in front of you and you feel like you're holding it. So that's the little quick part there. So while we're talking about zSpace, there's another thing I wanted to talk about. And before we go there, let me stop this. So another thing is a lot of times people are creating items in zSpace and the teachers are getting better at creating using Activity Builder, but they also want students to be able to create. And the issue with the student dashboard right now is that there are, it's meant for, excuse me, it's not student dashboard. The teacher dashboard is meant for, of course, teachers. It loads up any activities, allows you to create, modify, and publish any activity you want in 4 different programs, whether it's Studio, Newton's Park, which is their physics, or if it's Euclid Shapes, or even Franklin's Lab, which is the breadboard. So what you would do is if you want the student to be able to create, you can create accounts for them or almost create kind of like dummy accounts. And so once you create that account, you can allow them to be a teacher. And then when you leave the space, at that time, you just go ahead to your teacher dashboard server and change that student from a student access to teacher access. So let me show you. I'm just going to log in just so you can see what it looks like first. And so I'm in the teacher dashboard. Remember, teacher dashboard is localhost colon 4000. And so once you click on that, it's got to be on your Windows machine. There's probably one set up in your school or in your lab or so forth. But once you click on that, you can see your activities if people turn it in. But really, it's under accounts. So you can see here's the name of the account. And then here's the account type. So I could actually edit this and change myself from a teacher to a student. So student has access to get in, but they don't have access to modify or create. Basically, it gives them a username, so their information, they can save things as they go along. So I'm going to go show you the screen now so you can see what this looks like. All right, so here's the teacher dashboard, localhost 4000, and this is what comes up when you get there. If you have a username already, you know it, you type it in, and allow you're in. That's what I was talking about earlier, just showing you your activities. You click on accounts, and it shows you your accounts. And so it says first name, username, account type. So if you want to create a new account for a student, for example, just click on new account, and we can do something like, call this one, student, and then student one. There we go. And so creating a student account. Now, since I'm logged in as a teacher, I can make edits to this. The student will just go on to any zSpace activity and sign in as themselves, but they're not going to be able to do anything besides just save, have an area to have their saves. But if you want them to be able to create, modify, or publish, go ahead and just click on edit, change them to a teacher, and then click submit. And so now they have teacher access. The only thing you got to do is remind yourself to change it back, because otherwise, remember, all teachers have access to others' particular publishes, so they can unpublish them, they can hide them, they can even delete them from being published. So that's what's taken into account when you have the teacher role, is that you have that ability. That's why I always encourage to save all your files, so that way if somebody accidentally deletes them, you can republish them. So I'm going to go back. Oops, I clicked on the wrong person. I'm going to go back and change this student now back to student access. And so now, even though they published something, they can't go in and actively create. All their publishers are still there. It's just not active as far as them being able to do that. Okay, so let me go ahead and check what's going on the sides here and see what we have going on our event. All right, looking good. Sorry about the static on the mic. Appreciate you saying that. I don't know. Maybe it's the Windows system sometimes is a little bit different, and so maybe that's why it's static. I'm not quite sure. I will check that out. Appreciate that. All right, so those are some things just to show us tonight. If you have any questions, again, feel free to ask at hashtag Ask Nick using Twitter at Nick Finelli. So I'll write that down here at the bottom. And be sure to come back and join us or watch any of our other videos, or send in suggestions of things you want to see how it works. I did get a suggestion just earlier today, and I didn't have time to kind of set it up to make it useful on here, but somebody wanted to know how to use PowerPoint with the new creators, with the new Fall Creators Pack that has the mixed reality. So that way, when you're working on a PowerPoint, you could actually put in a mixed reality or kind of like a 3D model and be able to control that while you're doing your PowerPoint. So that way it's more of an interactive PowerPoint. So look for that for next time. I'll be sure to have that ready so to make sure you check that out. And of course, send some other things in. All right, well, thank you so much. And I want everybody to have a good night. And remember, little steps. That's all it takes. You're going to get better each day, just trying different things and searching around. Thanks, everybody, and I will see you again.